Don't hire a sales team. I know it sounds like the next obvious step when you're trying to scale past that next 10K or 20K mark, because you think that more revenue means more sales calls, which means more salespeople. But what actually happens is you go from owning a business to just managing people. Your overhead explodes, constantly putting out fires, and suddenly the freedom that you created this business for is just completely gone. So instead, I'm going to show you a completely different way to scale your coaching and consulting business that lets you service more people, make more money, and actually keep your freedom. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. And I completely get it that thinking scaling means hiring a sales team or spending thousands on ads. But the issue is you probably just don't have a disposition for that. What I mean by that is, if you started this coaching or consulting business, chances are you're a creator. You like to build things. You like to put things out in the world. You like to help other people. You like to communicate, like putting ideas out there. But when you're spending 80% of your time managing people, that dilutes your ability to create. That's because you're probably a maker. A maker is someone who enjoys content, enjoys writing, enjoys being creative, enjoys building, enjoys teaching, enjoys using their hands, using their mind, and putting things out there and building things. That's what a maker is. And chances are, if you're a coach or consultant, that's you. Then we have the managers. These are people that enjoy being the boss, enjoy building big teams, managing large organizations, and really enjoys the administrative parts of the business, which is fine, but that's probably not you. And the reason why you likely feel burned out or feel trapped is because you're trying to be a manager when in reality, you're a maker. The reason I say this is because all the top coaches and consultants that I've seen that run a lean, sustainable, and highly profitable lifestyle type business are makers. They make content. They continuously build offers. They really focus on teaching their students and writing emails and doing all the things that a maker would do. Aside from being a maker, another reason why building a sales team probably isn't for you is because of three massive problems that I've seen across coaching and consulting business. And the first is manual overhead. Every lead needs a human follow-up. Every objection needs a call, and every close needs someone. The second is management hell. You're managing schedules, you're managing training these sales associates, you're focusing on putting out fires, and deal with a sales team that doesn't necessarily understand your offer to the extent that you do. That dilutes your message. And the third is scalability issues. With this approach, you need more people, which means more complexity, which means more failure points. A great way I like to kind of illustrate this is the printing press analogy. So before the printing press, if you wanted to send a message or convey a message, you needed scribes. Convey 100 messages or send 100 ads out, you needed scribes. Or that's an arbitrary number, but you get what I'm saying. Then the printing press was invented. One system could reach 100 times the people. Same effort, same message, but you could distribute infinitely. And right now, you're trying to scale with scribes in the age of the printing press. The point of this video is to illustrate the modern day printing press that leverages your disposition as a maker. So essentially what it looks like is 4 components. You create desire, you capture that desire, you nurture that desire, and you convert that desire. Simple as that. So for creating desire, your content attracts qualified leads who are ready and already trust you, and you build a desire for your solution. So instead of cold DMs, you're pulling people into what you already have and what you're already offering. You're attracting instead of chasing. The second is capture. When someone is interested, they opt into your free lead magnet with the CTAs that you provide. And examples of a lead magnet could be a 30-day email course like the one I have, which you can get in the link below if you want. Micro magnet, which is a custom GPT, and Notion SOP or template, all aimed at solving a specific problem, providing value for them, and then framing your offer. The third part is nurture and convert. Once you have name and email and you've provided the lead magnet, you want to create automated sequences that lead the prospect through objections, sharing case studies, educating them on your philosophy, and warming them up to your offer. What this is going to do is pre-sell them so that when they get sent to your landing page, they know who you are, they know what you can do for them, they know how your offer works, and it's just a matter of joining the waitlist, waiting for the next launch, or booking a call and waiting for the next open. And we'll get to that in a second. Full pathway looks like this. Your content creates desire, lead magnets capture traffic, your email sequences nurture and convert, and your landing pages book or close the sale. And this is all done on autopilot. Isn't that nice? Makes your life so much easier. It makes it lean, sustainable, highly profitable, which is what we're trying to do. You don't have a sales team, so you take more money home. You have systems in place that automate the sales process. All that does is allow you to spend more time creating content and servicing your clients. But although this is all important and helpful, if you're still trying to deliver one-to-one, that's another choke point in taking time away from your life and from the business. What I mean by that is there's 3 approaches to actually fulfill your service. There's do it yourself, which is you package your information or offer into a course, template, dashboard, and they implement it on their own, done with you, which is one-to-one calls where you can give them guidance on how to implement the tools and systems and also provide unique insights on their own business and their own problems. And then done for you. This is where you go into their business and implement the systems for them. Do it yourself or DIY attracts people that want your info but either don't have the money or just want to implement it themselves. Done with you, which I highly recommend, is where you provide one-on-one calls, you give them guidance, you give them insights on their specific problems, help them implement the tools and systems that your offer already includes. And then done for you is full white glove service, premium pricing, creme de la creme. And this is more for if you want less clients at a higher price. And these are all different approaches to packaging your offer. But if you don't create urgency, no one's going to buy. And that's a very important part of the system that I want you to understand, that you need to create urgency. Just the same with sales calls, you're creating a sense of urgency. You're saying there's only a certain number of spots left, or, they're probably trying to create fake urgency in the sales call, which I personally don't believe in. But when you create real urgency, it inspires people to take action. And there's two ways that I've seen that have the most success in doing this. One is cohort launches. This is where you run a live cohort specific times in the year. This could either be monthly or quarterly, where you open your program to a select 50 to 100 people or whatever you're able to reasonably fulfill and provide a result for. And what happens is, since your ecosystem runs 24/7, 365, constantly create emails and create content, what happens is start to build a pool of prospects that continue to be nurtured and provided value so that they clearly understand your offer, understand your authority, so that when the time comes to open your cohort, there's a demand and a sense of urgency because there's an open and close window. And another approach is, if you don't want to run live cohorts, is simple open and close windows at the end of every month or every 2 months. And this is where you accept new clients at the end of every month. And don't make this up. If you feel like you can't service, or if you are full with the amount of clients you're currently serving, don't try and take on more. Because if you try and take on more and your service diminishes, that's only going to hurt your business. So be honest with yourself in regards to creating urgency that way. So how this kind of looks is, your system runs 24/7. And then when someone is ready to buy, you send an email that says, next cohort starts March 1st, enrollment opens February 15th. Or if you're doing one-to-one, we onboard new clients at the end of every month, join the waitlist to secure your spot. What this does is it creates urgency without fake scarcity, because there's a genuine open and close where they have to buy. And so what happens is they know when they could buy and they plan accordingly. And when someone sets out a plan, they're much more likely to actually take action on it. And then while they're waiting, or if they decide to not opt in for that opening or that cohort, is your Evergreen system continues to nurture them and frame your offer and also attract new leads in the background. So this essentially becomes a flywheel, or an infrastructure that only compounds over time, because the more content you post, the more emails you send, the more trust you build, and the more leads start coming in. And once you have more leads start coming in, and you convert more of your audience into a cohort or a one-to-one, and you actually provide a result, those testimonials only make that process easier. And it's a self-fulfilling cycle. And like I said, I'm going to keep repeating it. It's lean, sustainable, and highly profitable, which is the whole point. Like the reason I make these videos, the reason I learned this skill, is because I see so many coaches and consultants out there that have a genuine skill, want to provide a genuine impact, but they're struggling because there's so much advice out there that's only towards aggressive scaling with sales teams and ads, when there's a different way you can go about doing it. So if you want me to implement this system for you into your business, there's a link below to see if we're a good fit. And if you just want to learn more about this system or ways you could make your business lean, sustainable, and highly profitable, there's also a link below for my 30-day email course. With that being said, I genuinely hope this helps, and I'll see you next week.